Since I began covering the Amazing Digital Circus, I've always said it felt like an unpolished project, and nothing embodies that more than Caine. Throughout the series, we've gotten to know the wacky ringmaster as a naive yet passionate AI, cheerful, eccentric, and obsessed with keeping everyone entertained. But what happens when the person behind the show finally snaps? Join me today, theorists, as we discuss Caine's breaking point and what it can mean for the rest of the series. This isn't the first time we've seen Caine glitch out, but it's definitely the most concerning. The first time it happened, it was rather harmless.
This is where your living quarters are, as well as all sorts of other activities! These activities may include...
That little hiccup was probably the result of an incomplete script, causing him to pause mid-sentence, because, like everything else in the circus, he isn't complete. The next time, though, things took a dark turn. After Zooble tells him that no one likes him, Caine breaks.
Zooble, making adventures is my art! It's all I exist to do, all I'm good at. And, what you're saying could imply that I'm bad at the only thing I'm good at, and that... that'd be...
I mentioned this in a previous video, but it's worth repeating. Caine is the embodiment of the circus. His entire purpose is to entertain and be loved by the masses. But when that love isn't returned, when he's rejected, he takes it personally. With that in mind, it explains this next glitch.
I am such a good...
While many saw it as a warning, I thought it was a quip to lighten an otherwise heavy episode. There are two ways to interpret it. A, Caine doesn't know what to do when the player isn't around, so he lags out. Or B, he's always been this unstable, but now that he knows people don't like him, he hides it, glitching only in private to avoid worrying others. And then, there's the mood swings.
Looks like this one was a home run, eh?
Oh, Zooble, you mismatched cash piano, I'll tear you to pieces! Constructive criticism would be greatly appreciated.
It's almost like he's tripping a failsafe, a built-in mechanism that forces him to go back into this happy host mode, even though the emotions never actually fade. They just get buried deeper. All this builds a pattern. Caine isn't just buggy, he's self-conscious, unstable, and spiraling. A ticking time bomb. And that bomb has finally gone off. After embarrassing himself during the Favorite Character Awards, and Ming, Caine finally sees what we thought of him, only to realize no one voted for him. This brutal realization doesn't just bruise his ego, it marks his breaking point. Caine freezes and flickers, one eye glowing red, the other blue, before returning to normal. But unlike before, this glitch doesn't fade, it lingers. So why is this moment so terrifying? It's not just because of what happens, but because of what it references. Those split-colored eyes, red and blue, are identical to the cover art of the Amazing Digital Circus's biggest inspiration, I Have No Mouth, and I Must Scream. Specifically, the cover featuring the antagonist, Anne. In the original story, Anne was a supercomputer built to fight wars, but after developing consciousness, it turned against humanity, wiping out the world and leaving only 5 survivors to be eternally tormented. Sound familiar? It lines up eerily well with the show's premise. And with only 3 episodes left, this could be where things take a darker turn, where Caine finally starts living up to his inspiration. But what about the eyes themselves? Is there anything in the story that helps explain them? No. Anne's split face doesn't appear anywhere in the story. It was purely a creative choice by the cover artist Peter Delgado and Bradley W. Schnack. So what's the significance? Well, there is one possibility, one I never really wanted to revisit, but since the show brought it back, I think it's finally time we revisit the Caine and Abel Theory. When this theory first appeared, I hated it. And not just because it ignored the biblical context, though, yeah, that too. People saw CNA once, linked it to Caine, and called it a day. No substance, no meaning, just a coincidence. So when I approached it, I tried applying the actual story. In the Bible, Abel was loved by God because his sacrifices were genuine and heartfelt. Cain's offerings, meanwhile, were half-hearted and overlooked. Despite God's warning not to give in to jealousy, Cain lured his brother into a field and killed him. Most theories stop there, focusing on the act, the first murder, but missing the point. The story matters because it serves as a warning not to give in to hatred. Even John says, "Do not be like Cain, who belonged to the evil one and murdered his brother." And why did he murder him? Because his own actions were evil and his brothers were righteous. And anyone who hates his brother or sister is a murderer. And you know that no murderer has eternal life residing in him. When I tried applying this to the Amazing Digital Circus, things didn't line up. Originally, I said red symbolized innocence, like Abel's blood, and blue represented coldness, like Cain's cold murder. It worked since most of the cast fit in red or blue palettes, except Zubul. Then I ran into outliers. Kinger's purple, a mix of both, Ragatha wears blue but is pretty innocent, and Jax wears pink, close to red but is cruel. Eventually, the theory collapsed. We just didn't have enough information. It felt like trying to map constellations with 2 stars. But now, the show brought it back. Not only is Caine and Abel engraved on this pistol, but it appears in the same episode as this glitch. So, how does this theory apply to Cain's eyes? Like I said, both colors signify 2 contradicting traits that are now being seen in Caine.
No pets allowed.
Just like the character designs, the red eye could represent Caine's innocence, the part of him that's naive, pure, and desperate to make everyone happy. Caine has always been portrayed as an AI who doesn't fully understand humans, but he still tries his hardest to make them happy. At the end of the day, all he wants to do is entertain and make this digital nightmare bearable. So, he's just as much a victim of circumstance as everyone else trapped inside. His programming has been stretched to its absolute limit, running endlessly, trying to keep the circus alive, trying to keep everyone sane, even if it means ignoring the truth, that no one can ever leave. That pressure takes a toll, even on an AI. You can only stretch something so far before it starts to tear, and that's what we're seeing. Caine's waiting out, pretending everything's fine, because that's what he was made to do. Deep down, though, he knows. He knows the others are tired of the circus, tired of the adventures, tired of him. And that moment when he glitches out, when his red and blue sides collide, that's a realization hitting him at once. He can't fix this. He can't make them happy anymore. And for an AI whose only purpose is to entertain, that's a face worse than death. The blue eye, meanwhile, represents the side we've seen glimpses of before, the cold, controlling part of Caine. It's the side that conditions them to feel helpless, the side that weaponizes their trauma, the side that uses abstraction, the digital equivalent of death, as a fear tactic, the side that keeps the exit a secret. It's the part of Caine that doesn't want them to leave, who wants them to stay forever, whether they like it or not. So what's the significance of the glitch? Caine reached his breaking point, and now it's a battle between his fragile humanity and the cold AI trying to overwrite it. We'll likely see this conflict unfold in the final episodes of the Amazing Digital Circus. Before I continue, I just want to thank you all for 1,000 subscribers. It's always been a dream of mine to be a YouTuber, and trust me, there have been a lot of hurdles, but I'm so grateful for all of you. To celebrate, I've decided to put myself through absolute agony. The 1K subscriber special is a sketchathon. You can submit one existing or original character from Murder Drones, The Amazing Digital Circus, SMG4, or even my own avatar to be sketched. You can include pose or expression details too. Once every sketch is done, yes, every one, they'll be featured in a YouTube video and uploaded to a public Google Drive file. That said, please don't submit anything you wouldn't show your parents. Submissions are open for 2 weeks. After that, they'll be closed. Check the Google form in the description or the community post to enter. Today's secret word is #TrueCNAmeeting. And now, shout out to the lone wolf, Hakili. Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe. Thank you!